75th birthday to Peter Deacon, celebrating his birthday here at Eastleigh. And that comes with best wishes from your son Clive. So can I read it out just before kick-off? That's about now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Guiseley Radio, and welcome also to the Silverlake Stadium in Eastleigh, where the Lions face today a very tough test to overcome an Eastleigh side on a 5-match unbeaten run. The Lions themselves are 10 games in all competitions without a win, although we were so very close at Nethermore on Easter Bank Holiday Monday. I'm joined this afternoon by Sandy Beeson, Guiseley Radio's Southern correspondent. Sandy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel about today's game?
Well, it's a very tough test, isn't it? We're coming up against a team who are fairly high up in the form table, and certainly in much better form than we are. We're relatively low down, and you look out at the stadium here. There's been a lot of development, and you can see that this is a club that is building for loftier ambitions, and you can see that in the team sheet as well. There are players there that have got good league experience, championship experience for a number of them, and really it's not the ideal fixture for Guiseley, looking for a much needed win, but you never know in football, so it's going to be tough today. Eastleigh are in banging form. They've only lost one game in March, so they're right up there. They're just outside the playoffs, and for Guiseley to get even a point today, they're going to have to rough it out and try and battle for a result here.
Well, it was a much more positive performance against Chester on Monday, and very cruelly snatched away the 3 points at the very end. Just couldn't quite see that one out. One thing that the club have managed to see out this week, in case you haven't heard, is that Nethermore has been recommended for an A-grade rating, which means that the stadium itself, the ground at Nethermore, will be suitable for National League football for the foreseeable future. It means we're not going down because of the ground. Now it's down to the players on the pitch to do that. And as I say, they were much improved against Chester on Saturday, and we spoke to Mark Bauer just after that game.
Mark, a real roller coaster of an afternoon, but ultimately not the 3 points we needed today.
No, obviously the way it happens in the end, we've just completely let Mark jail. We've won that game twice, really. The goals we've given away, just balls lobbed in our box, not defended properly. Handball on the second one, the lads are saying in the dressing room, like, clearly handballs it, referees missed it. But almost the game in many ways epitomises our season. We've had to score great goals. The ones we've scored are, really good goals we've scored. And then we've given the poxiest, the last two were the shocking goals to give away at that stage of the game when you've got so many bodies back there to defend it. Just hard to put it into words really now. It was a game that really we've done enough in to win. Played in really tough conditions again against the wind first half. It was difficult. You saw Drench's kicking. It was struggling to get it out of his own half, and that helped them have be on the front foot and put us under pressure at times. Having said that, really we had probably the couple of best chances in the half. Had some really good chances first half, and needed to, if we'd got in front, could have been a completely different game, because then in the second half, once we had the win behind us, thought we were really on the front foot. We were pressing them and had chances, and then obviously got the 3 goals, and it should have been enough to win us the game. Unfortunately it wasn't.
You rang in the changes after the Southport game, and the performance today was chalk and cheese. Did you feel that the changes obviously were a big part of that?
We always plan to make changes anyway, win, lose or draw at Southport. I think we've got a squad capable of being able to change personnel. I think in the past we've found that going from Saturday to Monday we've had a real contrast in performance when we've tried to play the same side. So we always intended to do that. Knew that they've had 3 big lads at the back, and the pace of Dudley, Sinclair and Hurst was something we looked to use against them. So yeah, the lads that came in, the performance as a whole, take out a couple of poor incidents in our penalty area in the last 5 minutes. The performance on the whole I think has been good, and the lads coming have done well, and the lads that played Saturday have played well. But it's what I said on Saturday to you after the game, Colin. It's that ruthlessness in both boxes. At least we showed it in the attacking end today, but we've not shown it in our own box at the end to see it through.
And yet, right at the end, of course, you even made the changes to try and shore up the defence and bringing on Danny Hall as well.
Yeah, they've got some big lads. I mean, the three centre halves have got absolute giants, and having taken Jake Lawler off earlier, we were light in that area, and that maybe contributed to the first goal. And you bring Hawley on for duds just to try and shore it up a bit more presence in there. And Hawley won the first header from the throw-in, goes out for a corner, and it wasn't a free header that they scored from. It was a scramble in the box that we should have had enough bodies around to clear. Having said that, if the referee does his job, I think the lads are saying there was a handball there. Doesn't count, but that kind of sums up where we are and how we've got in the position that we're in. It is a point in the end. It breaks a couple of losses that we've had. It's a performance that can give the players confidence and a bit of heart and a bit of belief, and scoring 3 goals and 3 really good goals as well as probably being close to having a couple of others as well. Show we can create chances, we can score goals. So we've got to take the positives from it, take the the belief and a lot of the good things we've done today into the next game at Eastleigh on Saturday. And obviously, most of the teams down the bottom have not won. I think only Borehamwood are the only ones that have won there today. So it's tough, and the teams down there are down there for a reason, because they lose more games than they win. So we just need that couple of wins that will make such a big difference and get us away from the bottom 4. And if we go about our business right and can cut out the silly mistakes that have been costing us, not just today but on Saturday and really throughout the season, then we've got a chance of going down there and getting a result.
And of course, the sort of sense was that this weekend was going to be very important for us teams in the bottom half of the table. But like you say, with that Borehamwood result, that just shows that at this time of the season things can be topsy-turvy and perhaps things don't go according to script.
No, they're not going to do. That there's always going to be shock results. We've got Cheltenham and Wrexham to come here, and I fully expect us to put on a good show like we've done against Tranmere, Grimsby, Forest Green. If we do that, law of averages says we'll get that little bit of luck and we'll get a win against one of these teams. And I firmly believe that we can get results against the big teams as such, Eastleigh, Cheltenham, Wrexham, that we've got next 3, and that we can get results and shock 1 or 2 other people, because the quality is there. You've seen it today with the goals that we've scored, the way we've played, especially in that second half. But we just got to turn, number of times that we've been better than the opposition in games and not won. It's put us in the position that we're in. So just got to keep going. We've shown enough. I think everyone knows that we've got enough, but we have to produce performances and defend our box better and hopefully score 3 goals again in the next game like we've done today.
Score 3 goals and better defensive performance from Mark Bauer there after the game against Chester on Easter Bank Holiday Monday. Sorry, I'm just trying to retrieve my team sheet, which is trying to make a run for it. I'm sure it's not too worried. Now we'll have a quick go through the teams. Eastleigh are the home side today, of course. Ross Finley in goal, Joe Partington, Jamie Turley, Paul Reed, Yemi Odubade, excuse my pronunciation if that's wrong, Josh Payne, James Constable, Jay Reason, Lee Cook, Dan Harding and Luke Coulson. Substitutes for Eastleigh today: Michael Polk, Michael Green, Andy Drury, Matty Fanimo, which is a great name, and Matt Tubbs. For the Lions today, they will be playing in their away kit of all yellow, and Stephen Drench will start in goal. Ryan Tulson, number 2. Number 3, Ben Parker. Number 4, Danny Lowe. Number 5, Adam Lockwood. Number 11, Gavin Rothery. Number 14, Will Hatfield. Number 23, Emil Sinclair. After 2 goals last week, he retains his starting position. 25, Robert Atkinson. 35, Oliver Norburn. And 36, James Hurst. Subs for the Lions this afternoon: Jake Lawler, Adam Boys, Tom Craddock, Ollie Johnson and Anthony Dudley. Sandy, let's pick the bones out of that one then.
Well, the first thing to mention, and what sort of Fox does a bit up here in the press box, was that we seem to be quite defender heavy. We assume that Ben Parker might be lining up in a left wing position, but we're not too sure of that, and we will confirm that as soon as we can. But really today we're going to be under the cosh for large parts of this game, so it's probably sensible to put out a conservative lineup, and really we'll be looking at Emil Sinclair to do what he does best: hold the ball up, bring other players into play, the likes of James Hurst and Gavin Rothery, and really they're going to have to be sharp today, and if they do eke out chances, they're going to have to take them. You mentioned prior to the match that there's only been 2 occasions today that Guiseley have scored and lost, one of which was the reverse fixture against Eastleigh when we lost 4-1 at Nethermore. So really, if Guiseley get on the score sheet, you would hope they would get something out of the game.
It's certainly the only other for stat fans, the only other option time that's happened was the game away at Prenton Park for the Tranmere game, which we were narrowly defeated 2-1. There is hope for the Lions today, and as we always say on Guiseley Radio, it's not the despair that kills you, it's the hope. We like to find it, and in our record against the top 6 clubs in this division has actually been not too bad. Cheltenham aside, we haven't taken too much in the way of thumpings from that team at the top. Should have beaten Forest Green at Nethermore, arguably. Took points off Wrexham, took 2 points off Grimsby, took points off Tranmere. They seem to raise themselves for these bigger games.
Absolutely, and that is something that's been encouraging all season, and whilst you would have hoped that we'd have maybe performed better against some of the lower teams, we do tend to raise our game against the bigger team. Unfortunately, one of the exceptions to that was the reverse fixture, but hopefully they can put that right in today's game.
And certainly an attacking looking bench, we do think Ben Parker's going to start on the left of midfield. There is Ollie Johnson and there is Anthony Dudley who can play there as well on the bench and ready to come on. Danny Lowe is fit again after missing the Chester game, after pulling up lame against Southport. We'll see how fully fit he is. Perhaps Ben Parker later in the day could drop off into that left back position if Danny Lowe's fitness doesn't quite hold up, and we could drop Ollie Johnson and Anthony Dudley. We're still waiting for that 20 minutes of Ollie Johnson being absolutely unplayable that seems to happen every season. He's still on his way back, and we're not expecting miracles from him or anything like that, but we're still waiting for him to be Ollie Johnson.
Well, that's it. He's obviously had a very long time out injured, and we all know what Ollie Johnson can do. He's a lovely player to have on the bench as an option to come off, and it is potentially a bit of a quizzical choice to have Ben Parker playing on that left wing. You would hope that Ollie Johnson would see some significant minutes as the game wore on, and hopefully would be in a position where perhaps he could be a match winner for us.
So the teams are on the pitch, they are lining up. The pitch is looking a little bit dry in places, certainly down the wings, and certainly looking particularly brown around both penalty areas. The 6-yard box of the goal to our right has certainly taken a beating across the course of the season. Stephen Drench currently lining up in that goal mouth. Looking at you didn't see the goals that we conceded against Chester, Sandy, but they were a couple of them. The second and third goals were really as a result of the ball knocking around in the box. How aware do Guiseley have to be of that this afternoon? Well,
to be honest, Guiseley's game suits a pitch that's in far better nick than this, and they do have to adjust, which is something that perhaps Guiseley haven't done this season, and it will be tough when the ball's sort of bobbling around in the area. But as I say, they've got to get used to the conditions and try and use them to their benefit.
So the Lions will kick off this afternoon, playing right from our right to left, and playing in their away kit of all yellow. Eastleigh in blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Quick go through the teams again. For Eastleigh, Flitney, Partington, Turley, Reed, Odebardi, Payne, Constable, Reason, Cook, Harding and Coulson. For Guiseley, Drench, Toulson, Parker, Lowe, Lockwood, Rothery, Hatfield, Sinclair, Atkinson, Norburn and Hurst. Guiseley get the game underway, just knocking around in their own half at the moment. A long ball forward by Lowe up to Parker is dropped into the feet of an Eastleigh defender, who then clears it away down the right hand side, and an early run for Jai Reason. And Lockwood has to step across and knock that out for a throw-in. Beg your pardon, it wasn't Jay Reason, it was Odebardi. I will get the hang of this. Eastleigh throw-in taken, knocking it around in the right-hand side there. James Hurst comes across, wins the possession back for the Lions. Now, Oliver Norburn in the centre of midfield manages to hold on to possession out to the left to Danny Lowe, who tries to feed Hurst, who'd made a run down the left-hand side, but it's out for another Eastleigh throw.
Yeah, I can just say that Ben Parker is lining up as the left winger. He's slightly more defensive, as you can probably imagine, in his positioning, but we'll see how he gets on in that left wing position. We
do see Eastleigh play with wingers and can break quite quickly down that left-hand side. So the worst thing that Guiseley could do here is leave themselves too open on the wings, with a right back, with a full back and a winger bombing forward, leaving space. Lovely ball from Hatfield now down to Parker on the left-hand side. Parker in the final third. His cross is charged down and it's cleared away by an Eastleigh defender. All the way down. Lockwood is going to shepherd that back to Stephen Drench, who completely miskicks the ball. It will go down as an own goal by Adam Lockwood, but Eastleigh have taken an early lead here. We talked about the bobbly nature of the penalty area in that early moments. It was a simple pass back by Adam Lockwood, who shielded it from Odebardi. He passed it right-footed. Stephen Drench went to hit it first time, completely air-shotted it. A dreadful start for the Lions here, an unfortunate start for the Lions here. It is Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 0.
Well, that is absolutely calamitous. As you said, you mentioned it just before kick-off, and whilst you were saying that, Drench was inspecting the area around the goal. It seemed like you see them 10 times a game, just a simple pass back to the keeper. It's clearly bobbled over his foot and got in. Terrible goal to concede.
Certainly not the start that the Lions were looking for. Apologies for the break-in transmission there. Not entirely certain what happened. Going to press some buttons and hopefully you can hear us. If you can hear us, by the way, please do tweet us at Guiseley Radio this afternoon. Sandy is looking after the Guiseley Radio account for us today and will let us know if you can hear us coming through. Hopefully you can. You've not missed anything particular as Eastleigh try and force another attack for a ball played through Odebardi, and Atkinson clears. You've not missed anything of any great import. James Hurst had half a chance, but again the ball just wouldn't land for him on the edge of the penalty area, and he was quickly dispossessed. Guiseley have won a free kick here in the middle of the centre circle. Norburn trying to encourage his teammates to go forward. Plays that out to Rothery on the left-hand side. At Guiseley Radio, if you want to let us know how we're sounding. Thanks, Chris. Saying we're back. Hatfield wins the ball, plays that back to Adam Lockwood. Has a look forward to see who's there. There are 4 forward for Guiseley at this point, and it's found Danny Lowe, who plays in Ben Parker on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Lowe with a cross in, stooping header away by an Eastleigh defender, Turley I believe it was, up to the halfway line where Odebardi tries to retain control, but is under pressure from Adam Lockwood and eventually sacrifices possession. Guiseley can now play it across their back line. Hatfield in midfield playing to Norburn. Norburn's quick ball through to Sinclair is intercepted. Lockwood tries to clear his lines, but only as far as Odebardi down the right-hand side. His long ball played in, nodded away by Rob Atkinson as far as Hatfield. Norburn now with the ball. Long ball over the top towards Hurst. It's nodded away. Brought down by Emil Sinclair. Does well to retain possession. Hurst now moving forward, but is again intercepted by Dan Harding. There's clearly a lot of ideas going on here. There's a lot of effort on both sides, but just the pitch is against them at the moment, and the ball they're struggling a little bit to control that football, Sandy.
Well, it's true, but one of the encouraging things thus far is that Guiseley have looked to get down on the wings. They've had quite a bit of success down this left-hand side with Ben Parker and Danny Lowe on the overlap, and if they can carry on like this, I can see them creating a few opportunities this afternoon.
Now Guiseley trying to make a move down the centre. Hatfield in the centre circle, out to Lowe on the halfway line. Lowe finds Rothery, who's dropped back to get possession. Rothery feeds Hatfield. Hatfield under pressure loses possession. Eastleigh almost break, but it's quickly intercepted by Toulson. And Guiseley again trying to get down this left-hand side. Hatfield does really well there Rothery does really well to hold on to possession for Guiseley. Then a long ball across is headed away by Partington. Guiseley just trying to build something here, trying to get a little bit of pressure going on Eastleigh. They're by no means out of this game. It's been a terrible start. A really unfortunate goal to concede after just a couple of minutes. It will go down as an Adam Lockwood own goal, but it was the fault of Stephen Drench, who air shot a simple pass back on a very difficult pitch.
One of those that could have got anywhere, but did just go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Sinclair chased it all the way. But Flitney had thumped it against Sinclair, really. And he never really had a chance. But good closing down from Sinclair, good effort, good energy to get in that position in the first place. Guiseley trying to build an attack down the right-hand side now. Cutting inside to Hatfield, who turns with the ball and tries to look for openings. But the Eastleigh defence is tight. And it goes back to Lockwood on the centre circle. Now, ball played down the right-hand side. James Hurst to attack it and tries to put a cross in. It's deflected out for, I think it's Guiseley's first corner of the game, isn't it?
I think it might be. I'm not too sure if Eastleigh have had one as well, have they? But it's certainly Guiseley's first opportunity to get some bodies up. And Adam Lockwood is making his way into the box, as is Rob Atkinson, and hopefully we can see them cause Eastleigh some pressure here.
The Lions did, of course, score from a corner against Chester, and a repeat of that today from Emil Sinclair would be most welcome at this point. It's to be taken on the far side. It's played into the centre of the penalty area, and Partington gets ahead on it, and it's away only as far as Rothery, who just can't quite control but does well. And Atkinson tried to turn on the edge of the box but was dispossessed, and now Eastleigh can start a quick break. Odebardi now down the right hand side, feeds Coulson, but it's just too far ahead of Coulson. Played back by Rothery to Stephen Drench, who's getting ironic cheers every time he clears the ball now.
Yeah, Odebardi again looking very lively, and he almost created another chance there for Eastleigh.
Here comes Jai Reason now on the edge of the penalty area, turns inside onto his left foot and shoots, but it's straight at Stephen Drench, who can gratefully gather that into his body.
Yeah, Reason had just run at the Guiseley defence there, created a bit of space for himself, and his shot really should have been put further into the corner. It was quite easy for Stephen Drench just to collect that.
Drench's clearance this afternoon are going quite a long way. He's got the wind behind him this afternoon. He's got no sort of penalty area to speak of or anything, but he at least has the wind behind him. Now, Danny Lowe beats Odebardi down the left-hand side. Feeds Gavin Rothery, and a quick 1-2 just doesn't quite come off, and it's hoofed away by Turley. Lockwood returning the ball into the Eastleigh half. And Eastleigh now trying to break down this right-hand side again. Odebardi holds the ball up, looks for options, tries to play in Constable. And Rob Atkinson steps across to clear that ball away.
Well, that's really well read there from Atkinson. You could see Odebardi put a nice ball through the Guiseley defence for Constable to run onto, but Atkinson saw it all the way and just came across to clear.
Partington now plays the ball into the centre, and Eastleigh still have the ball. It's played out as far as Payne. Payne plays it across to Harding. Turley, and Guiseley just trying to work the ball away. But a long ball over finds Luke Coulson down the right-hand side. Under pressure from Danny Lowe, the ball goes out for an Eastleigh throw, which again Partington will take. He seems to be the throw-in taker of choice for Eastleigh today, regardless of where he actually is. He had quite a long way to take that one. Now Lee Cook being shepherded back by Oliver Norburn, but a quick ball into Payne, and Payne tries to get Constable in, but Lockwood steps across and puts the ball out. It's another throw.
Well, you can certainly see why Eastleigh are in the position they are in the league. They've got so many quality players, and Josh Payne there with a lovely little turn, and his final pass wasn't quite enough.
Luke Coulson plays the ball in from the right-hand side. It's cleared away by Rob Atkinson. It's just dropped to Jai Reason. Jai Reason tries to play out to the right again, but Luke Coulson has a lot to do, but he manages to keep it in, and under pressure from Adam Lockwood there, Ben Parker, the cross comes in, and it's nodded out for a corner to Eastleigh by Ryan Toulson.
Well, that's very much safety first. The cross came in, and there wasn't really anyone around Ryan Toulson there, but as opposed to trying to head it out of the box where quite a few Eastleigh players were camped, he did the safe thing and just headed it behind, and Eastleigh do have a corner here which they can look to benefit from.
Altrincham lead at Kidderminster. That's bad news, but Dover are winning at home to Halifax. Gateshead 1, Torquay 0 in other games that we are keeping an eye on this afternoon. Eastleigh with this corner then played high, and Steve Drench collects and tries to start a quick attack, but gets to the edge of his penalty area and just holds and waits for the Lions. But Drench's long goal kick tries to find James Hurst down the right-hand side for Guiseley. He has to wait for support though. It comes in the form of Gavin Rothery. Gavin Rothery on the right-hand side trying to take on two defenders, but he's just closed down. Still finds James Hurst, who cuts inside and has a shot charged down by Jay Reason on the edge of the penalty area. It comes out to Adabadi, and Reason again. And here come Eastleigh again. Almost got out of our own half there. And Constable's cutting inside now, trying to find a ball through, and he tried to play it back to Constable, who under pressure from Ryan Toulson went down the penalty area. Big shouts on this stand from the Eastleigh fans for a penalty but nothing given. The referee not moved.
It's certainly one of those that you can see them being given. He's just got on the wrong side of Ryan Toulson, I think it was. They've both gone over. The ball's gone out for a goal kick, but certainly the Eastleigh players were protesting quite vehemently, and as were the fans. And the referee, as you say, wasn't moved, and fortunately for us, gives us the goal kick.
And I think James Constable protests have gone beyond a line, and the rather splendidly named referee Konstantin Hatzidakis will have to apply the wisdom of the Greeks. Were they wise or were they philosophical? I can't remember. But either way, he's having a word. Again, apologies for another break in transmission. The technical gremlins certainly seem to have travelled with us down to the south today. Ben Parker had a free kick on the right-hand side, curled it over the wall and into the arms of Paul Flitney. That's the only real attack that we think you've missed, although we're not entirely certain how long we've been out. Again, tweet us at Guiseley Radio if you can hear us. We are the Guiseley boys, and we are attempting to make all the noise, but technology appears to be getting in our way today. But it is particularly one-way traffic largely this afternoon, I'm afraid, and it is not looking good for the Lions at the moment. 1-0 down to that early Adam Lockwood own goal. Just 5 minutes into this game, which is now 31 minutes old. Guiseley have the ball in their own back line. Atkinson looks up and tries to play James Hurst in down the right-hand side, but it's well watched by the Eastleigh defence. Hatfield wins it back and plays it out to Hurst again. Locke coming through Hurst, tries to cut the ball into the edge of the penalty area, but again Eastleigh just step up and clear their lines. Jay Reason now trying to bring this out over the halfway line, finds Coulson, and again it's out on the right hand side. Partington and Reason linking up, and a ball over the top for Constable, but his pass to Partington, who had come up to support him, is wayward, and it is out for a Guiseley throw.
Yeah, once again Eastleigh looking to get some joy from the flanks. They do like to use the width of the pitch, but Guiseley able to mop it up there.
Ball played over to Adebardi there, and it looked like Atkinson who stepped up to try and clear his lines and was fouled by Adebardi, so it is a free kick on the edge of Guiseley's penalty area, and Stephen Drench will take it.
Yeah, Drench's distribution this afternoon has been very good, so an opportunity to cause some more havoc here as he plays it up to Emil Sinclair.
And back, and again back in by Adam Lockwood. I'm not sure the ball over the top is going to be the way forward for the Lions this afternoon, as Hatfield concedes a foul, coming in just a little bit too brusquely on Adebardi. There wasn't much in it, but the referee has given one. And Payne knocks that back, and here come Eastleigh again, just streaming forward. Guiseley cannot afford to switch off for even a second. Eastleigh have had a couple of half chances, but failed to really test Stephen Drench. Now this free kick played over the halfway line by Dan Harding. It's headed away by Dan Lowe, but only as far as Payne, who hits it first time on the volley, but always going wide.
Well, I tell you what, there was a bit of a slip just outside the area there from Oliver Norburn. It looked as if the ball was just going to sit nicely for him to clear quite comfortably, but the ball then sort of came out to Josh Payne, I think it was, who you know, fair enough, he went for it. There was the ball sat up nicely for that effort, but he wasn't able to get it on target.
Odd thing happening here. Chester and Boreham Wood I haven't got a score for. It's telling us it's a 3:45 kickoff. I wonder if they've had a delay there. Anyway, here come Eastleigh again. Constable feeding Adebardi, and Adebardi almost beats Rob Atkinson. He's forced out wide, and now the ball out wide with an Eastleigh player, but again it just won't sit for him, and Guiseley can mop up defensively, and Eastleigh have the ball again just inside the Guiseley half. Now, here come Eastleigh again down the left-hand side, cutting inside. He's got 3 yellow shirts around him, tries to feed Adebardi, but it takes a deflection, and Rob Atkinson is able to clear. Turley has the ball on the halfway line, and Eastleigh again looking up, looking for options. In as much as Eastleigh are sitting off Guiseley today, Guiseley appear to be doing the same to Eastleigh. Ball over the top for James Constable to chase, but he is called offside.
There's another ball over the top there. This time I think it was Jay Reason who found Constable in the area, and I think it was just a little bit too far for him to get onto, but he was almost in again, in on goal.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? We just can't switch off for a second because there's clear and present danger from those Eastleigh attackers, Adebardi and Constable, at all times. Apparently the Boreham Wood coach was held up in traffic and has not long arrived. Kickoff was originally going to be 4:30, is now 3:45, but we'll keep an eye on that one in the second half. Boreham Wood and Chester, of course, all around us. An important game for the Lions, especially if we don't get anything out of today. Norburn holding the ball up in midfield, winning a free kick, playing a ball over the top to Ben Parker, who heads the ball back across the penalty area, but there wasn't a yellow shirt in sight, and Eastleigh can just shepherd that one, let that one go out for a goal kick.
That's it. We've seen it so many times this season. It was a good ball from Norburn actually to find Ben Parker on the left there, but he's headed back into the box. There wasn't really anyone near him. Emil Sinclair, the nearest man outside the area, and as you say, the ball just harmlessly shepherded out from Dan Harding, the Eastleigh left back.
For those interested in such things, it's Solihull 1, Bradford Park Avenue 0. Harrogate leading by a 0-0 against Staley Bridge in the National League North. And if you're really interested, it's Bradford 0, Scunthorpe 0. Flitney taking his time with this goal kick. It's just a bit of a hold up here in play. You're not missing anything. I think the referee's just trying to sort out something in that midfield.
Not too sure what's going on there, actually.
Not sure what happened
He's
there.
played on now.
Ball played up over the top. Lockwood again tangling with Adebardi. And Adebardi is judged to have fouled Adam Lockwood. Hands on his head, I have to say. I didn't see much in that either. And Adam Lockwood just trots away like nothing's happened.
Adebardi's not the biggest chap, and it's fair to say it was a physical mismatch. And I'm not quite sure what the free kick's for, but you know what, we'll take it.
He's about a foot shorter than Adam Lockwood, but he is quite a physical player. He does play quite close to those central defenders. Now Danny Lowe has got this free kick central, plays that out wide towards James Hurst, who's beaten in the air, and now it's Lee Cook who can bring the ball away for Eastleigh down the Eastleigh left-hand side, tries to play in James Constable, but behind him, and Guiseley can mop up again. Norburn has the ball in midfield now, surrounded by blue shirts, and trying to feed Ben Parker, but under pressure there. Mark Bauer furious at that challenge on Oliver Norburn there. Fed out right to Partington on this near side, tries to feed in Adebardi. Adebardi again to Cook. Cook plays it out wide, and Coulson has it right on the touchline, brings it inside. An early ball played in by Jai Reason. Attempts to switch play, I think that's what he'd say, and he almost got away with it. And the ball lands at the feet of Constable, and Lee Cook now breaks down the left-hand side, skips past the challenge of a Guiseley defender, cuts it back to Payne, who takes it first time and miscues the shot, and it skews wide again. But again, if you step off this Eastleigh side, they will come at you, and they'll come at you hard and fast.
Well, not for the first time this afternoon. Lee Cook has he's just completely turned Ryan Tilson inside out there. He's got such good close control, and he had all the time to pick out a man. Drew it back to Josh Payne, whose first time shot was far too wide for his liking.
Roughly 5 minutes to go plus stoppages at the end of this first half. And if you take out that early own goal, there's not really much in this at the moment. You wouldn't necessarily see one team at the bottom of the league and one team at the top.
Well, both teams have sort of had equal possession, I'd say, and little spells where they do go on the attack. So yeah, if Guiseley can get a goal back and get a foot into this game, you could see them potentially getting something out of it.
Ball played up to Sinclair, who manages to retain possession and drifts out to the right-hand side. He's got support from Ryan Tulson. Ball played back a little quick to Tulson. He just had struggled to control it, but control it he does. Plays it back to Atkinson. Atkinson with a ball over to Hurst, who is offside.
Well, that's a shame there, because James Hurst was just, you could see him camped out on that far flank from us, and just onside you could see from here was Emil Sinclair. If Hurst had left it for Sinclair, he could have gone through there, but referee rightly calls it back for offside on Hurst.
And in the latest episode of Adebardi versus Lockwood, Adebardi wins a free kick. About halfway into the Guiseley half. It's a dangerous position here. Lockwood not impressed by the referee's decision, unsurprisingly. But now Guiseley have to pick up their man. Adebardi is on the right-hand side at the moment, and Tulson is thinking about picking him up. Hasn't quite gone to him just yet. Seems to be yelling someone across. But Guiseley have to be tight at the back here. Have to get ahead on this and get it away. Looks like Constable stood over it. I beg his pardon, it's Coulson. It is pretty central, but it's too far out for a direct effort. It's played gently over the top to the left-hand side, headed back across by Reason, and here's Partington and Constable with a chance, and a great save by Stephen Drench. It dropped to the feet of James Constable, he hit it on the turn, and Stephen Drench had to get down quickly and low and got that away, and it's gone out for an Eastleigh corner.
It was a very well worked free kick there from Eastleigh. They just put it into the back post, headed across the box, and fell kindly for Constable, who turned, drilled in a low effort, but Stephen Drench, showing his quality there, got down nicely and managed to palm it out for this corner.
So a corner for Eastleigh on this near side. Looks like Lee Cook is going to take it. He's struggling with those covers nearby, but he hits it right-footed into the box. Stephen Drench comes out, and his first attempt to collect it is not good, but his second attempt is steady.
Well, I noticed the ironic cheers from the Eastleigh fans have stopped for Stephen Drench. I think he's redeemed himself a bit, but caught that eventually.
Well, he's a better keeper than that, and he deserves better than to concede a goal in that manner. And now Guiseley have come forward, but it's quite quickly cleared out, and the ball is hanging up in the air quite a lot. And there was Atkinson, just went in on a very full-blooded challenge on an Eastleigh midfielder, but comes away with the ball, and now Danny Lowe down the left-hand side is looking for anyone in a yellow shirt to make a run for him. James Hurst goes out to the left, but it's not enough, and he goes back to Lockwood. Lockwood plays it across to Atkinson. Atkinson holds it, plays it forward to Rothery. Back again and across, and Atkinson's return to Lockwood just has Lockwood running for it a bit. And a first-time attempt at a clearance is scuffed, and it's gone out for an Eastleigh throw.
Well, you could see the return pass there was a little bit overhit, and he just had to put it out there.
13626. That's 13626. If you're the holder of that ticket, you've just won £259. Well done.
Anyone buy a raffle ticket? Did you buy a raffle ticket, Sandy? 156 to 256. Here come Eastleigh down the left-hand side. It's played a bit too long, and it's cleared away, but Eastleigh only as far as the halfway line. Reason can bring this forward now, plays it forward to Constable on the edge of the D. The flag has gone up. Constable hits a first-time shot on the turn, goes wide, but it wouldn't have counted. And Constable again, just having a little chat with the referee.
Well, he really is a deadly striker at this level, and you saw him just sort of come alive there as he got the ball, and I think he might even have hit the post with that effort, but thankfully for Guiseley, the referee called it for offside.
And so Drench will clear Guiseley lines again. Looking for Ben Parker down this left-hand side. Parker heads it on. It's a flickered header for Danny Lowe to chase on this left-hand side, but Partington just shepherds Lowe out of the way, and it's gone for an Eastleigh goal kick.
Yeah, again, Guiseley looking to get some joy down that left-hand side, but Danny Lowe unable to as Joe Partington takes the ball away for Eastleigh here.
Sinclair trying to close down Partington there, but Partington does well to hold on to possession and clear it away. It's scrappy stuff here at the Silverlake Stadium today. And Adam Lockwood just nearly went over the top of Adebardi.
Well, he looks to have fallen quite awkwardly there. He immediately looked in a bit of pain there. I think Adebardi just sort of impeded his landing somewhat, but he's got up and he's looking as if he'll carry on.
Certainly looked like a very heavy landing, but Lockwood's a hardy competitor.
There will be a minimum of 1 minute added to this.
Just your 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 0, an early Adam Lockwood own goal. And now Coulson has the ball down the right-hand side, hits that cross against Danny Lowe, and a corner is their time for one last Eastleigh attack of this half. Coulson with the corner. He's going to take this right-footed. Guiseley have to be sharp. They're going to play this in under the keeper again. Pressure Stephen Drench. He's got 3 players around him. Coulson plays the ball in. Constable almost meets it. It finds out to an Eastleigh player who nods it back in. And Jay Reason had a glancing header that almost threatened to loop over Stephen Drench, but he recovered well to collect.
Tell you what, that was a golden opportunity for Eastleigh there. I think the ball in came from the centre-back, Jamie Turley, as the referee calls for half-time here, and Jay Reason unable to get his header, a more meaningful impact on his header and test Stephen Drench.
And that is your lot for the first half, Lions fans. What do we make of that? It was a heartbreaking start to this game. It's a tough game that Guiseley really could do with getting something out of, but it's a big ask now. A goal down at half-time here at the Silverlake Stadium. Adam Lockwood's early back pass just bobbling over the feet of Stephen Drench and into the net after just 5 minutes, but Guiseley have held firm since then under quite a lot of pressure from the Eastleigh side. Guiseley are not out of this and have created a couple of half chances themselves, worked down the left hand side, feeding Emil Sinclair for a toe poke that just fell wide, and a free kick that looped over the wall into the arms of Ross Flitney. So there are games going on elsewhere in the National League. We will have a quick look through those scorelines now for you. And we'll start at the top. Aldershot 0, Barrow 0, Bromley 1, Lincoln City 0, Dover leading Halifax by a goal to 0, Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 0 here, Forest Green 0, Wrexham 0, game at the top there, Gateshead 1, Torquay 0, Kidderminster 0, Altrincham 1, Macclesfield 1, Braintree 0, Southport 0, Woking 1, Tranmere 1, Welling 1. Chester versus Boreham Wood is a game we'll also keep an eye on. That game is allegedly just about to kick off after the Boreham Wood team were held up in traffic. So don't look at the table. It doesn't make good reading. There's no point. It's only half-time. Sandy, what do the Lions have to do to get themselves back in this game?
Well, I think the encouraging thing for Guiseley is that having gone behind so early to such a calamitous goal, you didn't see heads drop. You saw them get back in it, and really too often this season Guiseley have been quite sluggish in the first half. They've taken a bit of time to get themselves into the game, and really after the goal you saw Guiseley trying to get some joy on the attack, particularly down this left side. Some good work from Ben Parker and Danny Lowe to get some space and try and create something. So they by no means Guiseley are out of this game. Eastleigh have looked dangerous when they've attacked, but by and large Guiseley have been able to contain that, and I think where they have created a couple of opportunities, notably through Emil Sinclair, they need to start capitalising on that and get something out of this second half.
But Eastleigh look a very good team here. They've defended very well, and they haven't at any point looked particularly ruffled by the Guiseley attack. There's only a couple of times when Emil Sinclair really has bustled about in that penalty area. James Hurst is working very hard, but to very little reward at the moment. There is hope for the Lions this afternoon, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. There's always hope, and I think whilst Eastleigh have looked comfortable so far, you can see Guiseley maybe creating something, and there's been other games I've been to this season when that hasn't necessarily been the case. So there are sort of positives to take away from that first half performance. There are attacking options on the bench as well. So there's by no means Guiseley are out of this, and they're more than capable of getting a result. I think the important thing is that they do keep their focus when under the cosh from Eastleigh, because players the likes of Odebardi and Lee Cook in particular, real quality players who can cause Guiseley problems, and they really need to keep alert to that danger.
Rather splendidly here at the Silverlake Stadium, we talked about how bobbly the penalty area was under the feet of Stephen Drench, and it has cost us a goal this afternoon. Rather splendidly now, there is an Eastleigh groundsman on a tiny tractor with a roller, just rolling around that penalty area, trying to flatten out some of the bumps so that what happened to Stephen Drench doesn't happen to Ross Flitney. He's just driving up and down the penalty area on a tiny tractor.
Well,
Good
I
on him.
think they call it gamesmanship, don't they? They clearly knew it was a bit bobbly there, and now they'll flatten it out.
Could have done with him about 50 minutes ago.
That's it.
Look, me and Sandy are going to go and get our breath back, get a cup of tea, and what we'll do is we will leave you, first of all, with the interview with Will Hatfield at the end of last week's game at Nethermore, and then following on from that, Mark Bauer and a few more other interviews as well, and we will see you in time for the second half.
It's hard to take. I don't think it'll reflect on the game till probably tomorrow morning because we played well. And yeah, just I don't know, it's hard to say. Lost for words really because
Well, only
I was going to say,
sort of knew there'd be.
we went through two kinds of emotions: the joy of thinking we'd won it, and then obviously conceding so late as well.
yeah, gone from the best feeling on a football pitch what you can ever have, especially me scoring and then get conceding 2-2, and then we get Emile scores 3-2. It's like the emotions are ridiculous, and then to concede in the fashion we did, it was just so disappointing. But we've got to take the positives, and got I think it's 6 games left now, 6 massive games, 6 cup finals, and we've got to take the spirit, the fight, the performance into the rest of the season.
I was going to say, when you look at the importance of today, it showed because both sides really went for it throughout the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, it was a tense game out there. It was end to end, but we created a lot more chances, especially in the first half. And unfortunately, we went in at half time 1-0 down, but we believed if we could come out, carry on playing the way we did, we'd get opportunities, and we did, and we took them. And it was just a shame the way we conceded 2 sloppy goals right at the end.
It's hard to take positives, obviously, after gaining the draw, but when you look at it, to come back from behind, first of all, does show great spirit.
Yeah, it does. That's never in doubt. We know what we've got in the changing room, and we know we've got the ability to get out of the situation we're in at the moment. Like I said before, 6 big finals for us, and we've got to take the positives, and the way we played, the goals we scored, and we go again.
And of course the next few games are against sides who are more up the table, the likes of Eastleigh and Cheltenham, but we've played against them teams before and put decent performances in.
Yeah, I think like I said, the cup final doesn't matter who you play, bottom or the top, every game we need to go in the same focus, same determination, and going in getting 3 points, doesn't matter who we're playing, top or bottom, so it won't make a difference to us.
And do you feel this result, I know right now it feels like a loss almost, but do you think we can gain stuff from this and move on for the next games?
Yeah, I'm sure when we work in the morning the boys will realise that it'll be a point game, and that's what we've got to look at it. But at the moment, the fashion of how we conceded the goals was really hard to take, and it probably will be for the rest of the night, but hopefully wake up in the morning, take the positives, and we'll go again.
Mark, a real roller coaster of an afternoon, but ultimately not the 3 points we needed today.
No, obviously the way it happens in the end, we've just completely let them out of jail. We've won that game twice, really. The goals we've given away, just balls lobbed in our box, not defended properly. Handball on the second one, the lads are saying in the dressing room, like clearly on balls, it referees missed it, but almost the game in many ways epitomises our season. We've had to score great goals. The ones we've scored are, really good goals we've scored, and then we've given the poxiest. The last 2 were the shocking goals to give away at that stage of the game when you've got so many bodies back there to defend it. Just hard to put it into words really. Now it was a game that really we've done enough in to win. Played in really tough conditions again against the wind first half. It was difficult. You saw Drench's kicking. It was struggling to get it out of his own half, and that helped them have be on the front foot and put us under pressure at times. Having said that, really we had probably the couple of best chances in the half. Had some really good chances first half, and needed to, if we'd got in front, could have been a completely different game, because then in the second half, once we had the win behind us, thought we were really on the front foot. We were pressing them and had chances, and then obviously got the 3 goals, and it should have been enough to win us a game. Unfortunately it wasn't.
You rang in the changes after the Southport game, and the performance today was chalk and cheese. Did you feel that the changes obviously were a big part of that?
We always planned to make changes anyway, win, lose or draw at Southport. I think we've got a squad capable of being able to change personnel. I think in the past we found that going from Saturday to Monday we've had a real contrast in performance when we've tried to play the same side. So we always intended to do that. Knew that they've had 3 big lads at the back, and the pace of Dudley, Sinclair and Hurst was something we looked to use against them. So yeah, the lads that came in, the performance as a whole, take out a couple of poor incidents in our penalty area in the last 5 minutes. The performance on the whole I think has been good, and the lads coming have done well, and the lads that played Saturday have played well. But it's what I said on Saturday to you after the game, Colin. It's that ruthlessness in both boxes. At least we showed it in the attacking end today. But we've not shown it in our own box at the end to see it through.
And yet, right at the end, of course, you even made the changes to try and shore up the defence and bringing on Danny Hall as well.
Yeah, they've got some big lads. I mean, the three centre-halves have got absolute giants, and having taken Jake Lawler off earlier, we were light in that area, and that maybe contributed to the first goal. And you bring Hawley on for Duds just to try and shore it up a bit more presence in there. And Hawley won the first header from the throw-in, goes out for a corner, and it wasn't a free header that they scored from. It was a scramble in the box that we should have had enough bodies around to clear. Having said that, if the referee does his job, I think the lads are saying there was a handball there. Doesn't count, but that kind of sums up where we are and how we've got in the position that we're in. It is a point in the end. It breaks a couple of losses that we've had. It's a performance that can give the players confidence and a bit of heart and a bit of belief, and scoring 3 goals and 3 really good goals as well as probably being close to having a couple of others as well. Show we can create chances, we can score goals. So we've got to take the positives from it, take the the belief and a lot of the good things we've done today into the next game at Eastleigh on Saturday. And obviously, most of the teams down the bottom have not won. I think only Boreham Wood are the only ones that have won there today. So it's tough, and the teams down there are down there for a reason, because they lose more games than they win. So we know we just need that couple of wins that will make such a big difference and get us away from the bottom 4. And if we go about our business right and can cut out the silly mistakes that have been costing us, not just today but on Saturday and really throughout the season, then we've got a chance of going down there and getting a result.
And of course, the sort of sense was that this weekend was going to be very important for us teams in the bottom half of the table. But like you say, with that Boreham Wood result, that just shows that at this time of the season things can be topsy-turvy and perhaps things don't go according to script.
No, they're not going to do. There's always going to be shock results. We've got Cheltenham and Wrexham to come here, and I fully expect us to put on a good show like we've done against Tranmere, Grimsby, Forest Green. If we do that, law of averages says we'll get that little bit of luck and we'll get a win against one of these teams. And I firmly believe that we can get results against the big teams as such, Eastleigh, Cheltenham, Wrexham, that we've got next 3, and that we can get results and shock 1 or 2 other people, because the quality's there. You've seen it today with the goals that we've scored, the way we've played, especially in that second half. But we've just got to turn, number of times that we've been better than the opposition in games and not won. It's put us in the position that we're in. So just got to keep going. We've shown enough. I think everyone knows that we've got enough, but we have to produce performances and defend our box better and hopefully score 3 goals again the next game like we've done today.
Welcome back to the Silverlake Stadium here in Eastleigh for the second half of Eastleigh versus Guiseley. Mark Bauer talks a bit about being deadly in both boxes, being sharper in both boxes, and he has talked in the past about getting an element of luck, and that's not something that the Lions have had a great deal of this afternoon. A goal down after 5 minutes, and Adam Lockwood back pass bouncing over the feet of Stephen Drench in what is a tremendously bobbly penalty area, and dribbling apologetically into the back of the net. The teams are back out on the pitch now. Eastleigh playing from our right to left in blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Guiseley back out in all yellow. No changes on either side that we can see. We will of course let you know. Eastleigh, Flitney, Partington, Turley, Reid, Odabardi, Payne, Constable, Reason, Cook, Harding and Coulson in a 4-4-2 formation, and Guiseley, Drench, Toulson, Parker, Lowe, Lockwood, Rothery, Hatfield, Sinclair, Atkinson, Norburn and Hurst in a 4-2-3-1 formation. And Eastleigh have started this game, played a long ball over the top, fell to Odabardi, and Odabardi can't control it under pressure from Adam Lockwood and concedes a throw to Guiseley. Ball played over the top by Guiseley and nodded out by Paul Reid, the Eastleigh captain, under pressure from Emil Sinclair, and a throw in an advanced position for the Lions. Gavin Rothery just passes the ball to Robin Toulson? Who's he? Right, his brother Ryan is playing today, and he'll take this, and it looks like a long throw, sends Rothery into the penalty area. Toulson with a long throw. Almost met by James Hurst. Under pressure from Eastleigh defenders, it just falls and is hooked away by a blue shirt again. Lee Cook plays a long ball towards Constable, but Adam Lockwood calmly nods it away. Guiseley retain possession, and it's found at the feet of Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe with a long ball over the top again towards James Hurst, who wins the ball in the air, but it's too much for Emil Sinclair to chase, and Partington nods the ball back to Flitney.
An encouraging start from Guiseley here. They've looked to get that ball up and put Eastleigh under pressure, which they need to do if they want to get something out of this game.
I think what's increasingly happening in this game is that both teams have decided this pitch is not suited to the passing game that they clearly want to play. So we're going to see an awful lot of long balls. There is a bit of a wind here. The sun has gone in and the wind has picked up a little bit. The temperature has most definitely dropped. But here now, Constable working with Coulson. Coulson now plays across to Lee Cook on the edge of the penalty area. Lee Cook turns inside Ryan Toulson and takes a shot right-footed that Toulson manages to block. It's out to the right-hand side, and there'll be a stoppage here. Norburn and Constable challenging for the ball. And the referee, I think, gave Constable offside.
I think he has. It's an odd decision. Lee Cook, as he's taken that shot, presumably Constable was in an offside position, but it was so far after the shot had been taken, having spun out towards the right flank, that everyone was baffled when the referee brought that back. But a good block there from Ryan Toulson to deny Lee Cook. He'd made space in the penalty area as Stephen Drench kicks this up.
And the goal kick played on, nodded on by Norburn, almost fell to the feet of Sinclair, but just beyond him. Eastleigh building again on the halfway line. Ball played over the top by Lee Cook towards Odabardi under pressure from Rob Atkinson, and again safely into the arms of Stephen Drench. It does rather look like James Hurst is taking up a more central position in this second half, certainly just either playing off Sinclair, who's just won the ball on the edge of the penalty area, feeds Rothery down the right hand side. Rothery takes a touch, plays a cross in, but it's high and looping, and no danger at all to an Eastleigh defence, who clear it easily. Here comes Josh Payne, plays it out to Coulson on the right hand side, and Guiseley, with 4 at the back at the moment, play it inside into the midfield to Reason, who sprays a ball out to Lee Cook down this left hand side. Lee Cook to Odabardi in the penalty area, returns to Lee Cook, who touches the ball beyond Gavin Rothery, and Rothery leaves a leg out, and it is a free kick in a very dangerous position.
Well, I feel like Lee Cook might have been looking for that, but Gavin Rothery's foot was clearly there for Lee Cook to go over, and Eastleigh have won themselves a free kick in a very promising position just outside the area, and it looks as if there's a number of players lining up to take this. Lee Cook is a bit of a free kick specialist, or certainly was in years gone by, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him use his dangerous left foot to crack this in on target.
Now, it was a well-won free kick. Lee Cook, he just touched the ball beyond Rothery, went round the other way. Rothery left his leg in. It was a free kick, but it is a dangerous position. Jay Reason, Lee Cook and Josh Payne all standing over this free kick, but it does look like, we think, Lee Cook is going to strike this left-footed. Guiseley wall holding firm, and Josh Payne hits it right-footed over the bar. Swerving, got over the Guiseley wall, but couldn't dip it enough to really trouble Stephen Drench in the end.
It was a fizzing free kick just over the bar, and narrowly avoided, thankfully. An Eastleigh Eastleigh supporter just behind that goal, who's sat there in a wheelchair, thankfully just missed him, but it was a dangerous effort from Eastleigh, and Stephen Drench will again look to build momentum as the ball just blows off the spot he'd carefully picked out. He'll take the goal kick.
And Stephen Drench takes a goal kick, cheered on by the Eastleigh fans behind him. James Hurst brings the ball down, plays a looping ball over for Ben Parker to chase, but again it's cleared away by Eastleigh. Here comes Coulson. Coulson plays that down the right hand side. His ball is loose and Danny Lowe can collect it just over the halfway line. Ball over the top for James Hurst, brings it down right footed, left footed shots. charged down by the Eastleigh defence. And they do eventually clear their lines, only as far as Lee Cook on the left-hand side. Now Toulson plays it down the right to Rothery. Toulson going on a charging run down the right-hand side, but Eastleigh defend it well and force Rothery back. Still maintains possession though, Gavin Rothery. He does very well there. And Guiseley switch it and work it to the left-hand side. Danny Lowe playing in James Hurst. James Hurst first touch, little bit too strong. Takes it away from him. Again, Eastleigh close him down, but Hurst retains possession. Knocks it back to Adam Lockwood. Adam Lockwood hoofs the ball out to the left-hand side. And really, the Guiseley man would have had to have legs about 8 feet long to get anywhere near it, and he was caught offside anyway.
Well, that's it. You saw there a couple of passages of play for Guiseley where they looked to progress down the flanks with Rothery and Hurst, and both times just crowded out and eventually had to come back to defence and try and build again. And then eventually it was just a long, hopeful punt over the top, which has resulted in this free kick for Eastleigh.
Flitney with the ball long, high into the Guiseley half. It's contested in the air and eventually drops for Coulson. Coulson plays in Constable. Constable under pressure from Lowe. A 1-2 with Coulson again. Tries to find Josh Payne, but it's played in just too far for Josh Payne. And Hurst wins possession and a free kick. I think Payne and Hurst both stretched for that really, and there wasn't a lot in that. But it does relieve some pressure momentarily for the Lions as they push up. Stephen Drench now almost to the centre circle to take this free kick.
A couple of goals in the National League. I see that Woking have scored a second against Southport, and Gateshead versus Torquay is 1-1 just after half-time as well.
Ball played over the top and cleared away by Turley, only as far as Lowe, who plays the ball back in, but it's wayward, and Partington can clear that away. Under pressure, though, and Guiseley momentarily win the ball back and win a throw-in as well. Throwed in, play to Norburn. Norburn can't quite control it, plays it back to Lockwood. Lockwood, Guiseley look to switch the play, but Eastleigh close it down quite quickly, and it's another long ball over the top that's just nodded away. Toulson plays that high. Sinclair will chase it, but to no avail. It's dropped for Danny Lowe, though. Danny Lowe plays in Emil Sinclair down the left-hand side. He can keep this in. Sinclair, he's under pressure from Partington. Sinclair plays it out to Norburn on the edge of the box, and Norburn wins a free kick. His first touch was charged down, and his second as he tried to beat Turley. Turley brought him down, and this is a dangerous position for the Lions now.
It certainly is, and nice play from Emil Sinclair to just hold the ball up and pick out a good option in Ollie Norburn. We've seen him score a couple of crackers from outside the area. His first touch left a lot to be desired, but he wins the free kick here, and it looks like James Hurst and Ben Parker are standing over this.
And James Hurst came and picked the ball up and put that down. He really looked like a man with purpose, and he's still standing, eyeing up the goalkeeper. But also Ben Parker and also Ollie Norburn hovering around it. It'll be Hurst, left-footed, low, into the back of the net!
Fantastic.
James Hurst levels it up for the Lions. A fantastic shot that left Eastleigh standing stock still. Just fired it into the far corner of the net with his left foot.
Well, you often see free kicks from that sort of distance. The free kick taker will try and bend it, use a bit of finesse. None of that for James Hurst. He just fair walloped it, went straight through the wall. I think they jumped over it and into goalkeeper Flitney's bottom left-hand corner, and the Lions are level.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to play the conditions, then of course James Hurst has played that free kick absolutely perfectly. Played left-footed with pace across the ground, and of course, as we found out to our cost in that first half, the ground is very bobbly around that penalty area, and it may have just caught Ross Flitney out there. But the Lions are back in this game. They are back level. Ball played over the top now for Constable. Constable tries to find Odabardi but finds only Lockwood. Lockwood can hoof that away, and now here comes Dan Harding with the ball on the halfway line to restart the Eastleigh attack. He's ball to Constable. Constable doesn't quite control but plays it out to Lee Cook on the left hand side. Lee Cook under pressure from Gavin Rothery gets the cross in. Danny Lowe watches it all the way, and Oliver Norburn has to volley the ball away from the dangerous Josh Payne as he almost was about to strike that ball. It's out for an Eastleigh throw. Played in here to Jay Reason. Jay Reason tries to get beyond Danny Lowe but runs out of football pitch, and it's out for a goal kick. And now the atmosphere at the Silverlake Stadium just picking up a little bit.
I'll tell you what, the Guiseley fans, you might be able to hear them a little bit. They're certainly making a bit of noise to our right, but I think the Eastleigh fans are also looking to gee up their troops, and I think there might be a drummer over in that stand behind Stephen Drench's goal. They've certainly picked up a little bit too.
It's not been a classic, and there's not been a lot for fans to get excited about at any point really in this game, but that free kick from James Hurst that levels things up for the Lions here might just have sparked something. Let's hope so. Oliver Norburn now plays the ball out to Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe plays it long to the left-hand side for Emil Sinclair to chase and troubles Jay Partington to the point of almost giving the ball away, but it is a throw to Eastleigh on the left-hand side. Sinclair just getting himself into trouble. And we will see the first change of the afternoon, and it is number 18 for Guiseley, Ollie Johnson, to come on for Ben Parker. So what looks very much like a like-for-like swap on that left-hand side. But the fresh legs of Ollie Johnson, not weighed down, certainly not weighed down by an abundance of football this season, but a tremendously skillful man. And is he the one? Maybe, just maybe.
Well, that's it. We said before the game that we thought that this would be the change that Mark Bauer would make. Ben Parker making way for Ollie Johnson, and he is someone who has that bit of magic, that bit of spark that can potentially win matches, and he's got plenty of time to show us what he can do. We see Mark Bauer sort of feeding him slowly back into the team. Let's see if he can make an impact.
I wouldn't know if this is the game for Ollie Johnson, though. I mean, it is a long ball over the top, sort of scrappy sort of affair. It's not a particularly skillful matchup here that wouldn't necessarily play to Ollie Johnson's strengths. Now, Odabardi chased a long ball and was under pressure from Rob Atkinson and went down. Claimed a free kick, but it wasn't given, much to the chagrin of the Eastleigh fans.
It looked like the referee went over and had a little word with Odabardi there. I don't know if he's just saying to him, let's stop the over the dramatics, but it's a goal kick for Guiseley ultimately.
Guiseley Radio's own Chris Bell contacting us with the eloquent, "Get in, come on Guiseley." Atkinson plays a ball over the top, but it's too long for Rothery to chase, and Partington will collect it. It looks like OJ's dropped in behind Sinclair, and Hurst has gone back out to the right-hand side. Ball brought down by Danny Lowe. He had his arm in the air, but it hit his shoulder. Eastleigh claiming a handball, but not given. His ball over the top, cleared away by Eastleigh. Only as far as the halfway line. Here's Norburn. Norburn completely does Jay Reason and can feed out to the left-hand side to Lowe again. Lowe tries to play a low ball in towards Johnson, but it's cut out. And Eastleigh, and good work there from Coulson and Constable. And it looked very much like Coulson was caught a bit late there by what looks like Adam Lockwood. Constable was flying down that right-hand side, so any touch potentially might look a lot worse than it actually is.
I think it might have been Luke Coulson who was taken out there, but it was certainly a bit of a late challenge. I think he'd just been completely done for pace, and it was one of those, you'd call it a professional foul, wouldn't you?
The ref's had a quick chat with his linesman and called Adam Lockwood over, and Adam Lockwood is the first man in the book this afternoon.
It's not been too dirty a game actually. There's not been too many sort of vicious tackles. I think that's the first really careless one we've seen this afternoon, and I think it was only fair enough that he got the booking there from the referee Adam Lockwood, because it was quite a poor challenge, as Luke Coulson looks to receive treatment from the Eastleigh physio. He's actually still on the ground, so I hope it's not too serious.
again, Luke Coulson was going at quite some pace there, so any touch when you're moving at that kind of pace can be pretty disastrous.
True.
Big hello to Dinglebird, Shellmel47, who tweets us, we're back on, that's good, and we're so far staying on, touch wood, cross everything. Come on lads, play like your lives depended on it, we need a win. Dinglebird is sending us Leicester luck. Goodness me, we could do with some of that.
Well, she's actually listening from Leicester, I believe, this afternoon, so thanks for sending your messages. You can tweet us at Guiseley Radio.
Simon Wintle wants to know how the chips are, but we haven't had any. He always wants to know how the chips are. You're nearer a refreshment stand, Simon. How are the chips?
Although that catering porter cabin looks suspiciously boarded up. I wonder if they're starving them over there. You mentioned they don't have a bar down there.
They ferried the Guiseley fans in earlier. They are down in one corner at the far end of the terracing here at the Silverlake, and the Eastleigh Twitter feed was at pains to point out they will not have access to a bar during the game. So at half time, the Lions fans were cheering the roller. God bless them. They follow this team up and down the country, and sometimes they just have to make their own amusement, don't they?
It's a long way to come to not have any refreshments, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm sure they're well refreshed. I'm sure they'll find a way. They usually do. Luke Coulson is back on his feet after a long period of treatment. He's moving very gingerly. We should just have a quick look at the other scorelines in the National League this afternoon. Bromley 1, Lincoln 0, Dover 1, Halifax 0, Forest Green 0, Wrexham 0, Gateshead 1, Torquay 1, Altrincham still winning at Kidderminster, Southport 0, Woking 2, Tranmere 1, Welling 1, and Chester 1, Boreham Wood 1. It's difficult to know who you would want to get a result in that one, if either side. Probably Chester, to be honest. Boreham Wood are chasing us.
Well, if we can get a win out of this game, it doesn't matter too much, does it?
It's a big if, though.
It's a very big
So Eastleigh have a free kick on this far side. Played in by Lee Cook and almost headed away by Ollie Johnson, but it's not a clean header. Danny Lowe goes through the back of Jay Reason, who squares up very quickly. And the referee, Konstantin Hatzidakis, gets in between the two men to stop that escalating any further.
Well, it was quite a clumsy challenge from Danny Lowe. He's just sort of given Jay Reason fair reason to hit the deck there, and Eastleigh have a free kick in much the same position as James Hurst just cracked one in at the other end. So Lee Cook has had a sighter from this distance, although actually on that occasion it was Jay Reason who took the shot eventually. So perhaps they might have fine-tuned his targeting here.
They are. It is almost exactly the same position as the chance they had for a few minutes ago, just before the Guiseley equaliser. Reason and Cook standing over it. Reason hit it right-footed that time, and will again, right-footed and far too high, and no danger at all to the Guiseley goal.
Yeah, whereas before it was quite a low, powerfully struck one from Reason. This time he's looked to loop it and maybe place it in that top corner, but he's just got far too much on it, and it's ballooned harmlessly over the bar.
So another substitution here, and this time for Eastleigh. And Luke Coulson will play no further part in the game and will be replaced by number 18, Andy Drury.
Well, Andy Drury is another player, much like Lee Cook, who's of the highest quality. Recently playing in the Championship for Charlton, and has played in the Football League last season for Luton Town. He's a very accomplished player, and he's got a good range of passing, good vision. So another dangerous weapon for Eastleigh to bring on.
So it will be a goal kick taken by Stephen Drench from the centre of his goal. Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 1. Played up, James Hurst wins it in the air, plays it on for Ollie Johnson now down the right hand side, taking on Dan Harding and just outpacing him. Harding stays with him just about to nudge the ball out. It's a throw into Guiseley down on their right hand side near the corner flag. Ryan Tilson trots up, possibly could take a long one. James Hurst is with him. It's thrown in towards Ollie Johnson, who under pressure from Eastleigh defenders loses the ball but wins it back, tries to play Will Hatfield in, but it's too long for him, and Eastleigh just shepherd that ball out for a goal kick.
A nice couple of touches there for Ollie Johnson, winning the initial throw down the right hand side, and showed some good touches there. Just wasn't able to make a good connection to slip Hatfield through on the right flank there, but some promising signs from Ollie Johnson.
Ball played out by Flitney over the halfway line, and it's contested in the air and out for an Eastleigh throw, quickly taken, but Danny Lowe is sharp to it and hoofs the ball back towards Turley, who was under pressure a little bit from Emil Sinclair there, but shepherded the ball back, and Flitney again hoofs it over the halfway line. It's been that sort of a game. It's been very much ball over the top, and there was another one from Rothery there that Sinclair was offside. It's going to be a moment of brilliance or a shabby mistake, I think. You just hope it goes for us and not against us. Lee Cook with the ball on the right hand side, tries to clear the ball away but only succeeds in putting the ball out for a throw in to Guiseley just over the halfway line. It'll be taken by Toulson. There's just over 20 minutes left of this game. Toulson plays it in towards James Hurst. James Hurst, who was being held there by Dan Harding, nodded over again to Norburn. Norburn finds James Hurst, tries to play the ball over the top for Rothery to chase, but Partington's quick to it and nods it away, and Eastleigh could possibly break now down this right hand side with Reason. Played in now towards an Eastleigh man. It's the new man, and played out to Lee Cook. Lee Cook plays it in, it's deflected into the path of Odabardi, but it just wouldn't settle down, and Guiseley eventually managed to claw it away. Andy Drury there feeding Lee Cook down the left hand side, and his low ball in was not well dealt with by the Lions defence, and Odabardi nearly got away with it, and it is a corner to Eastleigh for Lee Cook to take left footed, or he will take it left footed in a minute. Eastleigh hovering on the edge of the penalty area. Lee Cook left footed into the box, met by the head of James Hurst, and away only as far as the D. It's fed out back to Lee Cook on the left hand side. Lee Cook charged down by James Hurst. The cross, Cook will have another opportunity though. Cook finally gets the cross in, and it's nodded over the bar by Ian Toulson by the looks of it, and Toulson's not very happy about that, but he quite clearly got the header away. He was the last touch. And now Jay Reason will come over and take another corner, this time right footed. Eastleigh packing the penalty area, different tactic this time. Reason is at a good height, and away by Danny Lowe, and away by Will Hatfield for Rothery to chase. And now can Guiseley make any kind of break? Olive Johnson's running for his life down the middle. Rothery on a bumpy pitch plays it out to Emil Sinclair on the left hand side, and just as Eastleigh were getting back, the referees pulled play back for a foul on Gavin Rothery, so it is a free kick just outside the centre circle. I think he tried to play advantage there, but seeing Sinclair on the left hand side saw no real opportunity.
Well, you could see just how wobbly this pitch was there when Guiseley broke there. Gavin Rothery was having real trouble trying to get that ball under control, and laid it off to Emil Sinclair, but was taken out in the process. And there's one Guiseley a free kick, sort of significant distance outside the Eastleigh area, but let's see if they can make something from this.
Hovering on the edge of the box, Norburn plays the ball over the top. James Hurst manages to nod it back in, but it's cleared away by Eastleigh here, and here comes Lee Cook down the left hand side again, pursued by James Hurst, but he's not going to get there. Hatfield's looking after him, but manages to play the ball into Constable on the edge of the box. Constable knocks it back to the new man Andy Drury. Drury to Payne. Payne tries to spray it out to the wings, but Rothery is wise to it and chests the ball down and brings the ball out over the halfway line. Tries to find Ollie Johnson. The ball played back. Johnson closes down Flitney, and Flitney has to very quickly adjust his footing and put that out for a throw-in.
Well, that was really nice play there from Guiseley. Really testing ball from Gavin Rothery, who tried to feed it through there to Ollie Johnson, and between Ollie Johnson just closing down the keeper and put it out for the throw-in.
Lowe and Tulson down the right-hand side. And Johnson is under pressure and loses the ball. Eastleigh trying to free Lee Cook again on the left-hand side, but it's gone out for another throw. It's too much for Lee Cook to chase that. It's yeah, what do you do? What do you do? Now played down the left-hand side. It falls to the feet of James Hurst. James Hurst takes a swing at it. I'm sure he'll tell you it was a cross.
Oh dear. Well, even as a cross, it was horrendous because there was no one out there. But I think it was a quite a wild shot, and it was on the sort of near side of the box here. It's gone out for a throw-in. That tells you how bad that effort was.
Not classic James Hurst. Now Sinclair chasing Turley. Turley tries to head the ball away, just knocks it against Sinclair, and it's out for a goal kick. But Sinclair's putting in a shift this afternoon, really trying to get in between the two centre-backs for Eastleigh this afternoon, Turley and Reid. Ball played out now. Jay Reason tries to break down the right-hand side, but Danny Lowe intercepts. Atkinson looks up, sees James Hurst making a run, but just overhits it, and it runs safely through to Flitney. And Harding and Hurst just collided there, and Harding went over. I have to say, I think he went over a little bit theatrically there. There wasn't really anything in it.
Of that.
But the referee's going to have a quick chat with James Hurst, whose reputation perhaps precedes him. And it will be a goal kick taken by Flitney, yeah, it will. Eastleigh are readying their second change of the game. Ball played over the top by Payne. Atkinson can collect and tries to do a little Cruyff turn on Constable. Plays it back to Stephen Drench, who hits it first time. Gives the ball away though, and it's gone out for a throw in here. James Hurst rather childishly trying to knock the ball out of Harding's hands, and he will get himself a booking here. He disagreed with the award of a throw in and tried to knock the ball out of Harding's hands and picks up a very cheap yellow card.
Well, he is looking very frustrated, James Hurst. He had that wild effort a few minutes ago, and he also sort of not 1 minute ago was given a talking to by the referee, and immediately after earned himself a yellow card needlessly, as Eastleigh bring on Matt Tubbs here. Well,
he's the architect of his own downfall there, isn't he? He's put himself on the referee's radar with that coming together with Dan Harding. It wasn't a foul, but then to sort of petulantly do that, to try and knock the ball out of the hands of Dan Harding.
Yeah, substitution there for Eastleigh. Matt Tubbs coming on to replace Josh Payne. So a striker coming on for a centre midfielder shows the intent of Eastleigh to try and squeeze a win out of this game.
Well, Eastleigh will look at this game as a very winnable game. I mean, a team at the their opponents are near the bottom of the league on a run of 10 without a win. And they're chasing the playoffs themselves. They're only a couple of points away, and with games in hand, so victories are starting to come at a premium here. Now Ollie Johnson wins the ball on the edge of the area, moves into the area, has to play it out to Hatfield. Hatfield tries to feed Hurst, but Lee Cook shepherds the ball almost out. But Guiseley have won a corner. There was a bit of a mix-up there. Lee Cook thought he'd cleared the ball, but Guiseley recovered. And in the end, it was Dan Harding who had to come across and put the ball out. So Guiseley have a corner kick on this far side, on this near side, that Oliver Norburn will come and strike into the box. All but 3 yellow shirts in the box. played over the top, punched away by Flitney to the feet of Lee Cook, and Eastleigh have the ball on the edge of their penalty area now, clearing away, trying to get the ball out to Tubbs. Tubbs holds the ball up and waits for support. Tubbs plays the ball over the top for Odebardi to chase. Odebardi's onside, but Drench will get there first, and it is out for a throw in. Drench with a safety first clearance there.
Couple of goals to tell you about in the National League. Torquay have gone 2-1 up away at Gateshead, and Welling have also gone 2-1 up away at Tranmere, which is a bit of a shocking scoreline.
Well, it is a bit of a surprise, but Welling fighting for their lives there, and Tranmere are vulnerable at home, as the Lions found. But not great news that Torquay are winning as well. Now Eastleigh with the ball over the top towards Tubbs. He's found at the edge of the penalty area. Out to Lee Cook. Lee Cook with a first-time cross, nodded away by Rob Atkinson. Hatfield tries to nod the ball away again. Eastleigh win the ball on the edge of the penalty area and feed Lee Cook. Lee Cook has another left-footed cross in. Drench comes to collect it from the head of Odebardi and does well.
Confident take there from the keeper, but again Eastleigh have looked very, very dangerous through Lee Cook down this left-hand side, and another good searching cross from him, but Drench collects it comfortably.
Drench's goal kick nodded out by Paul Reed for a throw-in just over the halfway line. And it does look like there's a bit of movement on the Lions bench. There's Jake Lawler and Adam Boyce going for a bit of a jog. Eastleigh have the ball in their own corner. Corner in their own half, but Emil Sinclair's troubling Andy Drury there. But Drury still manages to get the ball away. Partington now plays a long ball aimed for Constable, but Drench steps up to just outside his penalty area to hoof that away. Bit of head tennis around the centre circle, and Eastleigh have come away with the ball now. Harding plays to Reed. Johnson and Sinclair playing Piggy in the middle. Ball falls for Norburn, who tries to play a ball through for either OJ or Sinclair to run onto, but neither saw it coming. Cleared away, we have a throw in to Eastleigh. Drury and Partington on that right hand side for Eastleigh. Eastleigh just knocking it about at the centre of their defence. Here comes Paul Reed, brings it over the halfway line. Paul Reed with a long ball out to the right hand side for Odebardi to chase, and Odebardi clattered into the back of Danny Lowe there, who was then forced onto the ball and conceded a corner.
Well, I'm not
innovative
too sure,
from Odebardi.
I'm not too sure it was a corner from where I was viewing it, but as you say, Odebardi using his physicality, even though he is, it's fair to say, diminutive in comparison to some of the other players on the pitch, but he's won himself a corner that Lee Cook will look to swing this in from.
Lee Cook to swing this in, as you say, left-footed. Eastleigh on the edge of the box again. Played in, curled towards the head of Rob Atkinson, who manages to get that away. Hatfield has to chase with reason for the ball. It's one. It's a quickly taken throw in. Here's Tubbs on the left-hand side crossing in. Lockwood has to get that away with almost his knee. He seems to have hurt himself at some point there, but it's played out to the right-hand side. It's now Emil Sinclair chasing Dan Harding. Beats Dan Harding. Gets himself into the penalty area. Is this a chance? No! He's just tried to go around the keeper, and Flitney was quickly out to kick that ball away. A really good run by Emil Sinclair to get past Dan Harding there and into the penalty area. Maybe the ball just ran a bit too far for him, but now James Hurst building on this right-hand side. Cuts inside. Harding deflects the cross and it's cleared away by Eastleigh, but threatening there at both ends.
I'll tell you what, that was a real opportunity from Emil Sinclair, and he did so well. He was one-on-one with Dan Harding, managed to just pure outpace him, outmuscle him, got in there one-on-one with the keeper, and just showed a little bit too much to Flitney, who was trying to go round, and Flitney just stuck out a foot and managed to deflect it away, but it was a real opportunity carved out from Sinclair there.
And Toulson throws the ball to James Hurst in the corner, who tries to hit across first time but scuffs it, and it's out for a goal kick. And Eastleigh will make their third substitution of the day. Matty Fanimo will come on. and he will be replacing number 17 for Eastleigh, Lee Cook, who's had a good game today, Sandy.
He's had a very good game. He's looked, to be honest, in a dangerous-looking Eastleigh team. He's been their best player. He's shown a lot of quality down this left side and a good delivery. So we'll wait and see what Matty Fanimo brings to Eastleigh's side. But it'll be a bit of a relief to see the back of Lee Cook tonight.
And there is a change in the works for the Lions as well, but the ball is back in play. Tulson nods that ball over the halfway line. Eastleigh can build again. Here's Jay Reason playing a ball over again for Odabardi to chase, but this time Tulson will get there first and clears it out. And is that a throw or a corner? I think he's given a corner.
He's given a corner for that. Yeah, it was a bit of a sliced clearance there from Ryan Tulson.
1790. Thank you.
An attendance of 1790. We don't have an exact number on the amount of Lions fans that have made the journey down to the south coast today. Ball played in high. Stephen Drench trying to get through a crowd of players there but can't get there. It's cleared away and it's out now, and it's found its way back out to the left hand side to Jay Reason. Jay Reason with Odabardi overlapping, but Jay Reason goes himself, tries to play the ball in. It's nodded away by Ryan Tulson, and now Guiseley almost break, but a ball to Emil Sinclair falls short, and the team in blue can gather again. Played out wide to Odabardi. Odabardi's first touch is heavy, and Tulson steals the ball and tries to make his way forward. Hatfield now on the right hand side into Ollie Johnson, turns Reason. There was a break down the left hand side if Ollie Johnson had seen it. James Hurst sees Danny Lowe out there and might just get there. Danny Lowe works very hard to get beyond Partington there, but again, he'd worked so hard, but his first touch was clumsy, and Flitney can clear away again.
Well, Danny Lowe did really well to manage to get the ball off Partington there, but by the time he got the ball, I think he just knackered himself out.
23, Emil Sinclair.
And Emil Sinclair has worked hard to no avail, who almost got a goal a few moments ago, is withdrawn and replaced by Tom Craddock. So Craddock, before he was injured, was causing all sorts of problems amongst Grimsby defenders. He'd had one of his better games of the season, so we'll see if he can have that effect again today, as Will Hatfield brings the ball over the halfway line to Gavin Rothery. Gavin Rothery down the Guiseley left. He's got Hatfield in support. Finds him down the left hand side. A possibility of a cross here. Hatfield plays it back to Rothery. Rothery into the box towards Craddock, but he's back to goal. Craddock to Norburn, who hits it, and it's charged down by a blue shirt and falls unfortunately to the feet of Matt Reason. And Matt Reason now can bring the ball over the halfway line and tries to put it beyond. A Guiseley defender finds James Constable, who turns inside, and a good challenge there by a Guiseley defender to break up that attack. It's fallen to Gavin Rothery again. Tom Craddock now on the left hand side as Guiseley's end-to-end stuff here. Tom Craddock plays the ball again to Gavin Rothery. It's a little bit heavy. Rothery won't get there, and Partington wins a throw.
Whew. Breathless stuff there, yeah.
Almost. Eastleigh try another ball over the top, but it's far too heavy, and it goes to the feet of Stephen Drench.
Well, it was a good last-ditch tackle there from Ryan Tulson when Eastleigh came on the attack there. James Constable had made space for himself in the box and looked to be lining up a shot, and Tulson just sort of slid in there and denied the chance.
Drench's goal kick almost finds Tom Craddock, but Turley nodded that ball back to Flitney, whose first touch wasn't quite as certain as he might have liked. Dropped it with Craddock hovering, but then collected. Again, it's that head tennis again, and Lockwood tries to clear his lines, but it just skews off the top of his head, and Eastleigh can come away. Odabardi down the left-hand side now with Ryan Tulson looking after him. Ryan Tulson stops the cross, and it's out for another Eastleigh corner.
It was Fanimo on that left wing, showing that he's basically a like-for-like replacement for Lee Cook. Box of tricks there, and wins his side the corner.
I beg his pardon, it was absolutely Fanimo. Anyway. Corner for Eastleigh, played in low, almost fell for Constable there, and it bounced around in that penalty area until it's cleared by Ollie Johnson. Eastleigh can bring it back again, tried to play it in first time over the top, but Drury's ball was wayward. But again, Eastleigh come. Here's Fanimo. We're not sure how to pronounce it. But his ball is blocked by Ryan Tulson out to James Hurst, whose touch, ball just rolled over the top of his foot and it's out for a throw. Quickly taken by Eastleigh. Southport have equalised against Woking. Oh boy. Still 1-1. 3 minutes to go here. Is there one last opportunity for the Lions? It's out on the right hand side with James Hurst. Craddock making a run through the middle, but Hurst is going to take on Dan Harding. Harding shepherds him out to the right hand side. It's a physical battle. Hurst goes down. Harding comes away with the ball, and a challenge a little bit late by Ollie Johnson in support wins Eastleigh a free kick.
I was a little bit surprised he didn't give the free kick for Harding's challenge on Hurst there, and then just punishes Johnson for taking out Harding straight after.
Mark Bauer's furious about that. Absolutely furious about that, yelling at the referee and the fourth official has to come just... Come on now. Come on. And Danny Bosch isn't very happy either. Well, it was a physical battle between Harding and Hurst. Some days you'd get it given. Not today. Jay Reason plays the ball over the top. James Constable in a foot race with Adam Lockwood. Constable wins. Adam Lockwood stands strong, sticks a foot out and wins the ball.
That was fantastic defending there from Adam Lockwood. He would have been clean in Constable if he'd mucked that up, but he read the situation and just took it off his toes.
Hurst still complaining about that challenge by Dan Harding. To the bench. To reactions of, yep, we know, we agree. There you go. What are you going to do? Stephen Drench has the ball in his hands in the Guiseley penalty area. Knocks that ball out towards Craddock, who under pressure from Paul Reed, just wants beyond him. Eastleigh bring it forward again. Hurst now again on the right hand side. Tries to cut inside under pressure from Fanimo, beats him. Hurst still going, squares it to Tom Craddock. He's got Rothery in support, finds him. Rothery with the cross in, it's deflected off a Eastleigh defender, and Guiseley have a corner.
Well, that's a really good move again from Guiseley going forward. James Hurst, who's looking a bit agitated, took on a few players, laid it out towards Craddock, and he laid it off to Rothery, who won himself the corner.
To be replaced by number 6, Jake Lawlor.
Well, here's the thing. Jake Lawler coming on and replacing James Hurst.
He has looked a bit annoyed the last couple of minutes, James Hurst.
Well,
I wonder if that's a clever bit of game management there from Mark
There
Bauer.
might be a little bit of that, and also a little bit extra height for this corner, and also there might be an element of let's hold on to this because this would be an excellent point.
That's very true. We'll wait and see.
So, corner from Rothery. Right-footed. It's a little bit high and it's at the far post. Flitney tries to punch it away. Ow, and the referee's given a free kick.
Of course he has. Anyone who jumps anywhere near a goalkeeper, it's a free kick, isn't it, these days?
Any challenge on a keeper ends up in a free kick. Never mind that the corner before, Drench struggled to retain the ball because he was under pressure. Not that I'm paranoid at all. Lawler returns the ball in. And Eastleigh can come away. Now it's number 7, Yemi Odobadi. Wins a throw in halfway in the Guiseley half. Tosses it to Partington to take this throw. To Drury. Partington again. Guiseley trying to close down, trying to work the Eastleigh attack back. Craddock charging down. Paul Reed. 5 minutes added on at the end of this game as we approach the 90th minute. Ball played over the top. Rob Atkinson has to nod it away. It is a corner to Eastleigh. James Hurst on the bench with an ice pack on his right shoulder. Corner played in by Eastleigh. Reason. Drench comes out and flaps at it. Very unlike
There's
him.
always the home and an away man in a match, and they've reached me before you've gone home today. The guests in the Brook Room for the away man in the match have given it to number 35, Oliver Norburn.
So the sponsors here at Eastleigh have chosen their man of the match, and they've chosen an away man of the match. And I'm presuming they charge a home one as well. But the away one, for us, Oliver Norburn.
And I think it says a lot for their thoughts on Eastleigh's performance today that they've given the home man of the match to their centre half, Jamie Turley.
It's not been a classic. It's not been a classic game. But it has been a lot better from the Lions today than I think we had any reason to expect. It's been a solid performance so far. I'll shut up now. Odebardi on the right hand side. Eastleigh trying to build another attack, played it in, and Guiseley win the ball back, and not entirely surprisingly a little bit unwilling to break out in numbers there as they won the ball. They've worked it backwards. Adam Lockwood plays that ball over the top. Ollie Johnson tries to keep the ball in play and does keep the ball in play. Danny Lowe plays a high ball over the top for Tom Craddock to chase, but Turley can deal with those all day long. Hoofs it up, and it's just been long ball from one team to another for a little while. Dan Harding plays it down the right to Fanimo. Fanimo down the right hand side for Constable to chase. Constable is shepherded out by Rob Atkinson, and the ball goes out, and it's a goal kick. We are now deep into stoppage time here at the Silverlake Stadium. It is Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 1. A goal after 3 minutes for an own goal by Adam Lockwood put Eastleigh in front, but 10 minutes into the second half, a James Hurst free kick drilled left-footed into the far corner of the net, levelled it up for the Lions. There's been chances for both sides since, as OJ tries to play a ball over the top for Gavin Rothery to chase, but again Partington is a good few yards ahead of him there. Norburn wins the ball in midfield. OJ again just trying to keep possession of the ball. Norburn, ball over the top for Hatfield. Will win it on the edge of the penalty area. Hatfield, ball in, and OJ looking threatening on the edge of the penalty area, but it's just gone out. And Rothery now down the left-hand side for Guiseley. Rothery makes his way into the penalty area, tries to get a cross in, and Partington knocks it out for a Guiseley corner. Now what do you do here? Because there's an opportunity, but we know how quickly Eastleigh can break.
It's true, but that was some really good pressure from Guiseley, being able to switch the play a couple of times and get the ball into the box, and ultimately they've won themselves an opportunity here.
Lockwood and Atkinson have both gone up for this corner. It will be taken by Rothery. Rothery high and to the far post towards Jake Lawler, but punched away by Flitney, and here comes Jay Reason again, and the yellow shirts have to get back quickly and in numbers. A ball over the top for Fanimo, who at full stretch manages to keep the ball in, but Oliver Norburn shepherds the ball away. Again, it's a throw to Eastleigh, but it's still in a very dangerous position. Jay Reason throws it to Fanimo over the top. Tulson can hook that ball out, but the wind's against him, and it will be won by an Eastleigh head again and back in. Odebardi now on the right hand side, cuts inside, tries to find a blue shirt but can't. It's found its way back out to Andy Drury. Drury with a looping ball in. Adam Lockwood steps up to nod that out for another throw, and Guiseley now under a little bit of pressure. Played into Tubbs, back out to Partington. Partington with a dangerous looking cross that runs straight into the arms of Stephen Drench. And a good thing too, under pressure from James Constable, who's complaining about something again.
That's not like him.
Drench knocks it long, and Paul Reed missteps possibly for the first time today, and the ball runs back to the hands of Ross Flitney. And Lockwood's rather clumsy header goes out for an Eastleigh throw, and again the Lions a bit up against it here. Last ditch chance for Eastleigh. Drury to Partington. Ball won by Ollie Johnson. Tries to play it up to Tom Craddock. Tom Craddock, if he can hold the ball, wins a free kick on the centre circle, but the referee blows for full time. That is a very creditable point for the Lions today. The final score here, Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 1. 3 minutes gone in this game when Adam Lockwood passed the ball back to Stephen Drench. The ball bobbling over the foot of the Guiseley goalkeeper and apologetically bobbling into the back of the net. 10 minutes gone in the second half when James Hurst took a free kick low across a very, very rough looking penalty area and slammed a shot far into the far corner. There is something to cheer for the Lions fans this afternoon. It's finished. Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 1.
Well, that is a fantastic result for the Lions today. They came here against one of the most fancy teams in the division, a team who were banging form, and after a couple of minutes, you had to say it was looking a bit bleak for the Lions. A poor goal to concede, and one that Stephen Drench won't want to look back on in a hurry. But they showed character, they showed grit, and they dug in. They didn't let their heads drop. They fought back, and we said at half time that they're still in this game. There's still a chance they could come back. It was a very, very even game. Both teams sort of had their spells of pressure, and ultimately Guiseley were able to make one of those count. Fantastic free kick from James Hurst. He really walloped it into the back of Ross Flitney's goal, and in the end it wasn't as if they were under the cosh. It wasn't as if Eastleigh were hammering on the door in the latter stages. It actually looked as if Guiseley would be the more likely team to almost sneak a win in the end. But at the end of the day, it's a very, very creditable point, as you say. And at this stage of the season, every point matters. And getting a point away at a team like Eastleigh is no mean feat. And the next fixtures coming up, Cheltenham and Wrexham, you'd have to say they're very formidable looking fixtures. But with our good form against the better teams, we could be looking at a few points there, surely.
Points from Cheltenham and Wrexham. Well, hey, look, we got a point off Wrexham at the racecourse ground, and the less said about the visit to Cheltenham, possibly the better. Their ground may be called the World of Smile, but there wasn't much Guiseley smiling happening that night. Sandy, let's have a look at these other score lines. It's Aldershot 0, Barrow 1, Bromley 2, Lincoln City 0. Dover have beaten Halifax by a goal to 0. Well, actually, that's still in stoppage time there. Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 1. Wrexham have been... Now, this could be interesting, given that we're playing them in a couple of weeks. They've had 2 men sent off today at their away game at Forest Green. Looks like straight reds, Hudson and Jennings. That could be interesting if they're down a couple of players. Coming into the game at Nethermoor on April the 12th. It's finished Gateshead 1, Torquay United 2. Kidderminster have got a late equaliser, and if you're a Guiseley AFC aficionado, you'll know the name of Ben Whitfield, who has equalised at the death there at Agborough for Kidderminster. Macclesfield 3, Braintree Town 1, Southport 2, Woking 2. Tranmere 1, Welling 2. That would be a big old win for Welling if they can hold on to that. And it's half time at the Diva Stadium between Chester and Boreham Wood. That delayed kick-off, and it's currently 1-1. Let's have a quick little look at the table as it stands at the moment, and no change in position for the Lions as long as scores remain the same between Chester and Boreham Wood. We are in 18th place, 41 played, 43 points. Boreham just behind on 41 and 41 as it stands. Torquay have played 40 and 41 points. Altrincham drawing today. They've played 40 and 40 points. Halifax's defeat means they played 39 and 40 points. They have that game in hand. They've got 2 on us. Welling 2-1 winning 2-1 this afternoon at Tranmere. They are up to 42 and 35, and Kidderminster down on 41 and 29 points. Eastleigh will be particularly disappointed today because Tranmere lost. This was a great opportunity for them to get really back into that playoff positions. They haven't, and the top 6 reads as it has for a lot of this season. Cheltenham at the top, Forest Green in 2nd, Grimsby in 3rd, Dover in 4th, Tranmere now down to 5th place, and Braintree and Eastleigh just outside. Sandy, final summing up, pick the bones out of that one.
Well, it's quite frankly a remarkable result. I think before the game you would have said that this would be a match that we'd be unlikely to get anything out of, and they showed real resolve that they will need in this final run-in to get something out of this game. And you could look at it that they could have even got more out of this game, but I think the important thing for Guiseley is that they did manage to get a point. Every point matters at this point of the season in the relegation battle that we do find ourselves in. And coming to a place like this, a team like this, a very well set up team, a team who play really good football, have a lot of quality, to get a point here is a very good achievement from the Lions.
Sandy, thanks very much for your contributions this afternoon. We'll leave you there. Eastleigh, it's a long trip down for the Lions, but it's a happy coach back, I think. A creditable point for the Lions this afternoon. It's finished here. Eastleigh 1, Guiseley 1. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back for the Cheltenham game on Saturday at Nethermoor. Come on, you Lions.